Man, it's been quite a minute.
It's been a minute.
It's
It's been longer than a minute.
it's like coming back to an old friend, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
giving them a hug and, hey man, how you been? I've missed you so much. You know what I mean?
Now, don't get me wrong. We haven't stopped smoking weed in the time we've been gone.
Not at all. Not at all.
But, yeah, we missed doing this.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so we're jumping back on board.
So,
And go ahead.
Welcome to Toke Talk.
Yes, welcome. Welcome. As we always do, we do a little bit of news. The last time we spoke, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we were talking about Jeff Sessions.
Yes.
And he was in a position to kind of take the next step or allow weed growers and dispensaries and people in
Yes.
California and Colorado and other places that are legal to continue smoking and enjoying the Mary Jane flowers here.
Yeah. Has that changed at all?
I think, from what I understand, I think things are rolling. The
Okay.
main thing for us here in California is that, just like all the other legal states, the law that passed to make marijuana legal for recreational use, there are some barriers, I guess you would say, or restrictions, because we can't just walk down the street smoking weed, unfortunately.
We could, but
We could, but there's consequences to
Yeah,
that, right? You're
yeah.
breaking the law when you're doing that.
yeah.
A lot of people in our community that smoke weed don't mind breaking the law, which it's my duty to tell you not to break the law.
Yeah, don't break the law.
But you're all adults, so you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that about you, keeping it real, right? Because one of the voices that was being opinionated when all this talk was going on about voting or not voting was, I was driving for Uber in San Francisco one day, and one of my passengers was a part of the community, and she was telling me, she goes, look, man, she goes, whether it passes or not, we're still going to smoke weed,
That's real. That's real.
whether it passes or not. So the only thing affecting us is this stupid little law that you have in place that came about for stupid reasons anyway. So I think taking that into consideration when we're hearing the news of today, because so about 15 minutes ago, there was an update with not the dispensaries, but cultivation, how much you can grow in your house. I'm not sure if somebody was advocating for more than 6 plants, but today in Fresno at City Hall, they had the topic of restricting growing marijuana. They've already banned dispensaries and they've already banned the delivery services, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. So cultivation is kind of just like I mean, if you want to eventually stop spending a grip of money, cultivation's your only go-to for to provide your own weed. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good way to cut costs.
So here's the reality of it. It's just going to be, because we've already stated and we all agree that we're still going to get our weed.
Yeah.
People that are selling weed right now illegally are still going to sell weed.
That's real.
If they were to change their minds on allowing dispensaries and allowing delivery services, I think it opens the door to a whole new market of people who want to try weed recreationally, but they just don't feel good about breaking the law, about having a dealer.
Yeah. Imagine if everybody smoked weed, Mondo. Can you
Imagine all the people living for today.
No, but that's
Toke Talk album coming out 2017. Winter 2017. Catch me in December.
Catch You in December. That's what it's gonna be called. Catch You in December. No, but we were just talking about this, and I had a great idea. But
Yes.
I seem to have let it go. So, okay, yeah.
What do you
So,
guys think about free weed?
yeah. Um, because, well, you see, this is kind of where it goes against what we were talking about earlier. Because,
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
so, if Fresno allows the deliveries and stuff like, because
Right.
there's a lot of money to be made
Yeah.
using weed, and I'm very sure.
Which a lot of people are already doing it, right? All the
Yeah,
dealers out there,
it,
shout out.
exactly. There's plenty of people still making making weed,
Mhm.
making money illegally selling weed, and if they, man, these would be the people most qualified to work at said
Yes.
dispensaries.
To run
You know,
them,
you
to
know what I
own
mean?
them.
Like,
Yeah.
uh, you know, I'm lost.
Well, see, here's the thing. So whenever you get into anything illegal,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how much money you're making, there's always that part of you in the back of your mind
Mhm.
looking over your shoulder, making sure you're not going to get busted.
That's real.
And everybody understands, if you're a drug dealer out there, you understand the consequences. If you get busted, you understand all the consequences that
Yeah.
come along with that. And up until this point, everybody's been fine with that. Um, with but with marijuana becoming legal, there's the opportunity for a lot of dealers out there to be legit.
Mm-hmm.
Being a dealer has changed into something different.
Mm-hmm.
When weed was really vilified, when people thought about drug dealers, you think about drug lords and
Yeah.
all this killing that's going on.
But in all actuality, the people that I've met that sold are some of the chillest people.
chillest people, some of them have kids.
Yeah, some of them
You know,
super friendly. I'm sure there's drug dealer school teachers out there, drug dealer political people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they're all out
some
there.
of
you know
the
what I mean?
weed shows. There's a show that's on Showtime, I think it
Mhm.
is. Showtime or HBO or one of the premium channels
Mhm.
that's called Weeds, and a lot of people has probably heard about it. It's about a suburban mom who becomes a drug dealer because she's running behind on
Yeah.
her rent, and her income isn't matching what her lifestyle is living because I think her husband passed away or something.
Breaking Bad esque.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And what's the reason they do it? They do it because they need the money.
Yeah, and oh my god.
And how
Like,
many of them go into it with thinking,
using the example of Breaking Bad, the main character having like some like legit cancer that you can't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he just wanted to set his family up straight. Like, he didn't even care if he was gonna die. He wanted to take care of his family, and then eventually other stuff happened or whatever. But
well,
what
I
mean?
think that's the thing. He knew he was going to die,
Mhm.
and he knew once he was dead, he was no use to his family.
Mhm.
So his whole heart going into this thing was, I'm willing to die for my family. I'm willing to break the law to
Mhm.
protect my family and set up my family and provide for them
Mhm.
because I don't know what I'm going to be able to make in terms of money to leave behind, but I know I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
And a lot of the dealers go into dealing because of that reason, that whether it's education is too expensive,
Mhm.
or there's no time because
Jesus,
you have
education's
all
too
these kids, and you have to find a way to make more money, and there's
Yeah.
not a whole lot more options out there.
And it's crazy how like you have to find a way to make money, and Fresno being one of like the cheaper places to live, you know what I mean? Like, people come over here to settle down, buy a house and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because the houses are going to be okay or whatever, and
Mhm.
they're priced okay and stuff like that. And
Way more cheaper than Bay Area,
Yeah,
than,
yeah.
coastal regions.
so to try and save money and then set yourself up, I don't know, it makes sense, man. It's like, that's a
Yeah.
legit business plan to set yourself up. But with all these like they want to ban the dispensaries and stuff like that. It's like, man, you're pulling away so much money and so many jobs, because we're not talking about just bud tenders, we're not talking about just store managers, man. We're talking about like dudes who like gather like who work in like soil factories. We're talking about dudes who have these huge grows and are like cultivating seeds so that way then they could, sell to other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like there's so much work out there. Trimming buds. You know what I mean? When they're ripe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a whole lot to learn. Unfortunately, you have to. A lot of us here in the community, we have to pay for our weed.
Yeah.
Those who grow, if you're smart enough, you have a certain section, that you grow for personal use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, I'm fine with whatever they decide.
Yeah.
Because if they decide to go with dispensaries, this brings an amazing opportunity with the tax revenue that can come about, with the opportunity for all these people that are already in the community that do distribute to become legit. And how much more awesome would it be if you can become legit? Because how many rappers has started out selling drugs illegally and then made music and then just applied all the things that they did with an illegal business to a legal business, because that's their whole goal, right?
Yeah.
To be legit, to get the cops off my back, and to build an empire, to
set your family up,
and have that lifestyle that everybody's looking at, that success story, that legacy that I made it out the hood. You know what I mean? I made it out of poverty. Poverty tried to keep me, but I made it out. So this presents one of those opportunities, I think, for a lot of dealers to go legit and to really build an empire and to really build your brand.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who have created strains that's a brand there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's not just weed. You can start branching out into,
Like,
shirts and all these other things. But
I think Snoop Dogg has his own one. I think it's called Snoop Lion. That was
Snoop
when
Lion,
he was in,
I think.
when he was in Snoop Lion for
Snoop
a while.
Lion.
And Khalifa Kush, Wiz
There you
Khalifa
go.
has his own thing. I think even Tommy Chong has his own strain, but I'm not sure.
I think you might be right, or it might be something named after him.
Yeah, I know he sells like pre-packaged pre-rolled joints or whatever called Chong's Choice. I don't know if that's gonna be like, if that's a specific strain in there or whatever, but
Yeah.
That's just three people, well-known famous people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Imagine if you could create such, like, I feel like there's almost an upcoming renaissance, right?
Yeah.
You know the Renaissance, right? The crazy, like, it's basically a quick evolution of art in Europe, and so I think there's something like that approaching here in California, but like just weed-esque or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna be able to make their own strains. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? People are gonna be well known for doing things in this community because this is such a big community, and I think eventually it's gonna go to a place where it's such commonplace, just like beer. You can go and buy like a $2 Kawama like at the liquor store, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and get your buzz going. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, it just depends on how you drink, how much you drink, but you know what I mean.
Your tolerance and everything, right?
Yeah, like. It's gonna.
If you're a short, skinny man, you're probably in luck. If you're not so short and skinny, chug that bad boy.
But eventually, it's just gonna be so commonplace, and I don't know. I
think we're gonna get there.
Yeah,
I really do.
I love weed so much that this is what we were talking on earlier.
Yes.
To where I almost want to see where growers come together for I don't know if it's like, if the word is a co-op or whatever, but they come together, they all produce bud, but for each other. You know what I mean? Each harvest that they do, you yield some for yourself, and then you provide for these, X number of growers, depending on how many people are in the group.
Yeah.
The rest, say these they don't ban the dispensaries or anything here in Fresno. You know what kind of possibility that yields? Like, to have 9, like, okay, I think we planned it out to where it's like you plus you're a grower.
Yeah. So 4 growers.
4 growers, right?
and you're going to have 4 harvests throughout the year, right? Because you're
Yeah.
going to start your grow at different times,
Yeah.
and you as a grower are only going to be responsible for
3 months,
3
essentially.
quarters of the year.
Yeah.
For you, to provide weed for you and 3 other growers.
Yeah.
Right? So from your harvest of your own personal plants,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you provide weed. You take your harvest, you split it into 4, and you give away. You don't charge, you give away. You give away 3 quarters of your harvest
Yeah.
to 3 other people that are growing who have this agreement with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? Once you get past those 3 months, well, then the next grower is going to provide weed for the next 3 months.
And it's like ELE, bro.
Everybody loves everybody.
man.
Woo!
Like it's
How hype would that be?
that concept is so awesome, but the problem with
It
that
is.
concept
Yes, let's talk about that.
is that weed makes money,
Yeah.
and you don't want to feel like you're giving away money.
Well, I don't even.
Well, it just
for me.
It would depend on the person, because
it really depends on the person. But
because-
here's who it really affects. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm sorry, man. I'm just excited about what we're talking. I'm excited to get
Yeah.
back to this. I'm sorry.
No, really, yeah.
Go ahead.
It's good. But I already forgot. Go ahead, man.
So money and
Uh-huh.
and you know, giving away is what you were talking about.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to feel like you're giving away money,
yeah.
and that's what it's gonna feel like if you're, you know, giving away.
Oh yeah, because I mean everybody uses like, and this I'm talking about like when you're providing for everybody else, you're not providing like these huge amounts or whatever. You're providing enough for you to like smoke. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, just your
this is-
daily
yeah.
intake.
You know what I mean? For 3 months essentially, right?
If we were set up to do it, I'd hit like a Nate Dogg track right here, right now. You know, just a little smoke weed every day.
But but like, you know, okay, so all those other 9 months, right?
Yeah,
That has a potential to like, you know, say they don't allow or say they allow the dispensaries, you could take some of that 9 months and possibly sell it to the dispensaries, because I mean you're not going to use it, right?
right.
And they're the ones doing all the sale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
And who's to say? So, like, let's say,
Mhm.
let's say for this.
because I'm sorry. The reason I had that idea about selling to dispensaries if they're allowed is because one time way back when I heard a while ago that people who have their own farmlands, like larger farmlands, you know what I mean, like,
Mhm.
and they start growing like strawberries or whatever, you see them, you know what I mean. People who grow their own stuff, they'll sometimes sell to a grocery store or.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like
to some-
local farms.
Yeah, they'll sell something to a grocery store or a big chain or something like that, and they'll get money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you using that same thing on weed, it's like if they allow dispensaries, there's no reason you couldn't sell to a dispensary. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then even then, like I know.
think even now, I mean, if you're growing,
Mhm.
there's just because we don't have dispensaries here in Fresno, doesn't mean that you can't. That if you're growing,
Mhm.
that you can't go to a dispensary like in the Bay Area.
That's right.
Or what Anthony, our brother Anthony, what he was telling us was that Coalinga is going to be the next big spot.
Yeah, he was saying-
because they're going to be allowing dispensaries,
Mhm.
and that's where Bob Marley's son bought the prison to
Mhm.
make into.
So yeah, it's supposed to be like the central hub for like weed in California. Like they have like Oaksterdam
in
in
Oakland.
the Bay, yeah.
Yep.
And then they have L.A. I don't know if there's like a specific
LA is
name.
LA.
Yeah, LA.
It's probably everywhere over there.
Yeah.
LA.
but you know that would be cool. Coalinga being the central hub, you know,
Yeah.
Central Valley. You know what I mean?
So from what I understand, you can't. If you're in Fresno County, you can't grow more than 6 plants.
Yeah.
From what happened in City Hall today.
Mm-hmm. But
You can't grow more than 6 plants. Now, the clarification I need
yeah, I was gonna say.
is
Mm-hmm.
we live together, you and I.
Yes.
So, does that mean you get 6 plants and I get to grow my own 6 plants? Is that what that means?
That would sure be nice.
Because that would be incredible.
Yeah.
because then we can get
You
the
can get-
collective with
Yeah.
6 of the plants, and then the other 6 of the plants we can sell to dispensaries.
Money, man.
So here's why I'm fine with whatever they decide, either way.
Yes.
Whichever way this vote goes,
Mm-hmm.
there's room for opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. If they ban the dispensaries... Okay, wait, let's take it back a little bit.
Okay.
Let's say they don't ban the dispensaries.
All right.
We just talked about that. That gives an opportunity for people in our community to go legit,
Yeah.
right? To get a storefront, to get licensed, and to distribute weed.
I wonder how much jail time would be lowered.
What do you mean?
You know, lots of times people got busted just because they had some weed on them, or they had some other stuff on them or whatever. But I'm talking about like in general, because I know that a lot of the prison population and jails and stuff like that, people are serving time for dumbass drug charges, like for marijuana.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Well,
if you're selling
here's-
meth, you can go, fuck
Yeah,
yourself
they give
or
you a
whatever.
lighter sentence.
Yeah.
And that stuff destroys people's lives.
Yeah. It's
And
bad.
here's the reason why you'll get, and everybody knows this,
Mm-hmm.
marijuana is on the highest drug level.
Yeah.
It's a level 1 drug.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the highest charge for a drug that doesn't affect your life like all the other ones do.
Yeah.
This one doesn't really ruin your life. The only way it ruins your life is if you get busted for it, because then they're going to take away your time
And that's so
and
crazy.
incarcerate you.
That's
That's
so
how it
crazy.
ruins your life. But if you get addicted to meth, well, then you're stealing from your family,
Mhm.
and you're possibly, doing other bad things
Yeah.
for the addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
There
it-
is,
was it meth or heroin that's supposedly the like one hitter quitter? Like it was one of those two that you hit it once and you're done. Like you're gonna be fiending for it.
I don't
Or
know,
at least
man.
that's the rumor.
I've never
I think.
tried them. I've always heard,
Yeah.
that those
Same.
are tough to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I personally never tried them.
Mm.
When I started drinking alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
we grew up with an alcoholic father, and
Mhm.
so I stayed away from alcohol for the longest time. But when I did start drinking alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
I expected, a different reaction from what I was seeing
Mm.
in Dad,
Yeah.
or I should say I was expecting the same reaction that I seen in Dad, but I was experiencing something different.
Yes.
And I quickly realized that everybody is different with alcohol. It affects people differently.
Yeah.
And I think one of the main things is that it affects people, especially if you're going through something emotional.
Mm-hmm.
If you become an alcoholic where you need to drink, and you drink so much that you pass out, and it's affecting your life and the people that are in and around your life,
Mm-hmm.
well, then you've got an issue. And that tends to happen a lot with people that have something that they're running from,
Yeah.
and they're trying to cover it up, or just cover it up and get rid of it for the moment. A momentary relief is what people are looking for. And when you use substances in that way, then it becomes dangerous for you.
Yeah. It's kind of ironic that, a lot of people use substances to like run away from problems.
Yeah.
But, in order for problems to clear, you kind of have to run towards them,
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
You have to face them head on. And I think honestly, and I'm going to talk to you guys in the community, I think honestly that's why we've gotten a bad rap,
That's real.
or have had a little bit more harder time
Mm-hmm.
getting away from this vilified view of weed,
Mm-hmm.
is because some people tend to just try and cover things up. There's things that you ought to be facing head on in your life, and I'm the first one to like look at my own life and say, okay, I got to do this, this, and this, and have the balls to go ahead and do it, and not run away from it just because it's confrontation, or just because it's difficult, or just because you're scared.
Yeah, you shouldn't run away from something that makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think there's a good portion of people that use weed in that way to kind of just feel good and forget about it, because we have to be 100% honest. Smoking weed makes you feel good.
It does. It makes you feel so good. Like later on, I'm gonna talk about some music
Mm-hmm.
that I've heard while on weed, and it's amazing. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
The main point you're making here, because you were saying something, we were leading up to something that we kind of tangented.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of things.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. There's a couple of things. So if they allow dispensaries, you know, it opens up an opportunity for people who are already distributing to become legit.
Yes.
And, you know, build a legit empire and do things the right way. You know, if they continue with this ban, because from what I understand, they're going to revisit this vote on the dispensaries sometime before November.
Okay.
So between now and November, there'll be another vote on whether they're going to allow dispensaries and delivery services or not. Now, let's say they don't allow it. Okay. There's no more dispensaries. There's no more delivery services. Well, what's going to happen? One of the guys in the article who's kind of fighting, I think, from what I understand, I think he's on our side. And he's fighting for to have dispensaries.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's fighting to have dispensaries because the tax revenue that can come from the dispensaries, the delivery services, well, that taxation can go back into the state. That can go back into the communities. That can go back to the people.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say...
Like, I mean, you could look at what Colorado did.
Yeah.
Like, when the first year, I think Colorado had some debt. They had paid the debt, and they had made more than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To
Imagine.
put in their schools, put in their like transit systems, well, I mean, for us it's Caltrans. I don't know what it is over there, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fixing their roads and stuff, like beneficial things for the state of California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And all of us Californians who live here.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking about Colorado, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, well, that meant that's what I understood.
Yeah.
Is, you know, just like Colorado did it, it can be done here.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction that we're all going in. But that law that passed to make marijuana legal for recreational use is great.
Yeah.
However, here in California, each city has the say-so whether they're going to allow the dispensaries and delivery services or not.
Yeah.
So just because Fresno is saying we don't want dispensaries, we don't want delivery services, doesn't mean that it's illegal here in Fresno.
Yeah.
They have every right to do that. They have every right to say that and pass those laws. If you want to do that, that's great. That's fine. Because here's why I'm okay with that. It allows people to get back to something that we walked away from as Americans. You know, there was a time where we would grow vegetables. If you needed a head of lettuce, you'd go back into the backyard.
Yeah.
And you'd go grab that head of lettuce because you are already growing it.
Yeah, this was like way back in the day.
Yeah.
50s, 60s, no?
Well, I don't know if it was 50s, 60s, but...
well, I mean, the Fresno being natural farm area, I would imagine most of Fresno at that time would be...
Well, I'm not only talking about, you know, Fresno, California. I'm talking about, you know,
just
Americans,
America?
just America as a nation. You know, there was a time where we grew our own food.
Self-sustaining.
Yeah, we were self-sustaining.
Yeah.
And there was a time where people bartered with whatever they grew. And, you know, I'll give you, you know, these many potatoes for a chicken.
Okay, so we're talking about way back.
I'm talking about way back.
Okay.
And somewhere along the lines, we kind of got away from that.
Yeah.
When we started experiencing convenience. You know, somebody else was going to go ahead and grow everything and put it all together, and all you had to do was come by and give me money, and boom.
Yeah.
And you began paying for convenience.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have gotten away from that. And what this does, if they do keep the ban on dispensaries, is it allows us to grow,
Yeah.
to dive into something that you may not know about, and it's something that you can control.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like nobody's dying over the weed that you're growing,
That's real.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are talking about, there's cartel weed,
Mm-hmm.
and how many people are getting slain by the cartel?
Yeah.
And it's all about money.
Yeah.
It's all about money. It's all about the drugs you can move. And weed is definitely one of them.
Revolutionary idea. What if we just like grew it for ourselves and just gave it away?
See?
That
So earlier, I think it was
because
we were talking about
yeah,
that.
we were mentioning it, but then I never got around to it. Like
So-
I never got to it. Yeah.
So here's we'll talk about why it wouldn't work, right? Because in a perfect world, it would work,
yeah.
right? And I'm all about that. I'm all about, people that are connected to me, people that know me. If I'm growing and I know you smoke weed, well, I'm going to invite you over because
Yeah.
I've got a whole lot of weed. And of course, I haven't started growing now, so don't target me,
Yeah.
you idiots that want to target me and steal weed.
Like, come on.
Don't be an idiot, man. Don't be an idiot.
Like,
If you don't know how to grow, somebody can teach you how to grow.
You know-
I don't know how to grow. I'm going to learn.
yeah, man. I mean, it kind of, it's because weed makes money that people would do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So that's what it would affect,
Yeah.
right? In a perfect world, it would work
Mm-hmm.
because it's a perfect world.
Yeah.
But if you have everybody that consumes weed begin to start growing their own personal use weed,
Mm-hmm.
well, who loses out on money the most? Everybody that moves weed for money on the black market.
That's real. That's real. And then, I mean, if they didn't allow dispensaries, the city and the county and stuff like that would be losing money too.
Yes.
But, you'd be happy. You'd be happier, you know what I mean? If everybody smoked weed, grew their
Yeah.
own stuff, and didn't have to worry about buying weed. Because some people do smoke more than me and you.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
what we regularly throw down just like a 30 and we'll make it last.
30 or 40, and it lasts, 4 or 5, sometimes 6 days.
Yeah. And, there's other people who throw down like $100 and that'll be for the week. You know
People
what I
that got that recreational money.
mean?
You know what I mean?
But like, it's, people smoke in different quantities for sure.
Yeah.
But man, imagine if you just didn't have to worry about letting go of $100 a week
Yeah.
or letting go of,
That's the thing that
40 or $30 a week.
that's the thing that really interests me in growing is that,
Mhm.
well, let's say if it's 30 a week, right?
Mhm.
If it's 30 a week, it's 60 every 2 weeks, it's $120 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what can you do with $120 a month?
You could pay. This is gas.
That's gas.
That's gas. If you have a pretty good vehicle, that's gas for the month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's- what else could it be?
Food.
It could be food.
You could be food for, depending on how big your family is, half the month.
Mm-hmm. Some people have, the triple play cable, internet, phone,
That's
and
that's
that
a bill
runs right
there.
over 100.
Uh-huh. You could pay your phone bill with
You
it.
could pay your phone bill.
Let's see what else. So many good ideas, you know what I mean? And then you know what?
You could take like 3 friends out to dinner.
You know what I
Be
mean?
like, order the appetizer.
I don't give a fuck. No 2 for 20s here.
We're going 2 for 27, baby.
go-
Shoot.
We going a la carte in this bitch.
You want the steak? Get the steak. Hold on. No.
Wait, that's a $10 steak,
we're gonna keep
man.
it at 6 ounces. No upgrades.
Man, no, but I mean, I love weed, man. And,
I do too, man.
and this is, how I was saying this, there's also a possible renaissance or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've noticed that when I use it, I'm activating my mind more.
Yeah.
I've been in writing music and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and I've been able to like, just I don't know, access it more easy.
Right.
And I think that's just more of it allowing me to look introspectively. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Look at myself. Things like that.
Mhm.
But man, imagine if everybody well, not if everybody, but the people who want to.
Yeah.
If those people smoked weed and they didn't have to pay for it, they didn't have to worry about it. You know, the type of music they could make, the type of strains that could come out from your own farming.
Yeah.
You could
And
make your own strain. Like,
that was one of the other things I wanted to bring up is
Yeah.
that people who know and think about it, people who know how to grow vegetation, right? We're gonna say because it could be plants, it could be flowers,
Yeah.
it could be whatever. People that know how to grow, they know how to do that stuff.
yeah. And,
When-
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and imagine this. I mean, we live in Fresno, California,
Mm-hmm.
right down the street from Fresno State University,
Yeah.
where one of the biggest things that they teach there is agriculture.
Oh my God, dude! If they had like a class on
How to grow
growing
weed.
weed, oh my God, Fresno State would be booming, dude.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Because okay,
I don't know because, and this is why.
Okay, go ahead.
We have YouTube.
That's real.
That we have. I
That's
mean, you
real.
probably might get a few people like going to college and paying the high tuition
Yeah.
fees to be able
Well,
to get
you know,
that.
you
but-
know who it would be. Moreover, it wouldn't be locals for sure.
No.
It wouldn't be locals. It would be because there's plenty of people not from Fresno, not from California.
I have an answer. I'm gonna let you say whatever you're gonna say, but I think in my own mind, I think I have an answer. But I'm gonna let you keep talking.
So there's plenty of people who don't come, live in California that come to Fresno State for agriculture because
Right.
agriculture is the biggest thing here.
Right.
Now, if they had like a class on maybe hydroponics or growing outside or whatever for weed, that could educate the people coming from the East Coast because it's I don't know how certain like true this fact is, but I've heard that Cali weed is the best weed. Now, referring to the
I've seen different documentaries
Yeah.
and people that are East Coast say the
Uh-huh.
same thing.
And now the Renaissance I was speaking of before, imagine like
A lot-
taking Cali weed to the East Coast, right?
Uh-huh.
And starting like changing the game because Cali weed made it over there because someone got educated in how to grow great California weed, whether
Yeah.
it be like imitating conditions or whatever,
Yeah.
and is able to like produce it over there, and then the strains that would come from there, and then great strains that come from here in California, and
Mhm.
if those two strains were to like meet and fuck, like those babies would be amazing, right? It's
I don't know. Because I'm thinking about it now as you're vocalizing it, and
and I'm
the
not
best.
like I'm not talking strains like as far as like potency or whatever. I'm not talking about that at all because there's everything about a marijuana plant, marijuana flower is beautiful.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Bong Appetit,
Bong
infusing
Appetit.
food. Oh my gosh,
Dude, I didn't even know that the aroma that is given off from a plant is caused by terpenes, and I didn't even know that terpenes were a thing,
Right.
and that you could add it to things to make your food taste like the good taste of the weed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? But man, just
See, as you were vocalizing all of that
uh-huh.
About East Coast and Cali weed,
Uh-huh.
I started thinking about it, and it's like, if you've ever smoked outdoor weed as compared to indoor weed,
Uh-huh.
it's night and day.
It is.
It is night and day.
Mhm.
And if Cali weed is grown indoors, and this is what East Coasters are experiencing, damn it, it's all on the internet. It's all on the internet.
It is. It is. But I mean, like
Start growing indoors on the East Coast. You can have it too.
but look, people use YouTube for many different reasons.
Yeah.
The main reason, and I'll be honest, I kind of find this to be the dumbest reason to use YouTube, but also the smartest,
I'm listening.
is to listen to music.
listen to music.
That's all. You listen to music, or like they'll look up some funny meme or some small, yeah, it eventually something that becomes a meme or some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And that's what
What do you
YouTube's
use it for?
used for. Okay, so I have a couple subscriptions to, some channels, quite a few vlogs, because I am interested in what people like. My mains were like all the source fed uh
Oh
content,
yeah.
and then that got shut down.
Yeah, unfortunately.
RIP, but I do follow a lot of the people who worked in SourceFed and stuff like that. I still follow Philly D.
Yeah.
I love his vlogs and stuff like that. Like the other
Mhm.
day, I was chatting with Joe, the cameraman for Philly D, and it was cool.
Very nice.
Um, but Joe, I'm gonna have you on this podcast. Swear to
Joe,
God,
can't wait to meet you, bud.
it's gonna be fun. Anyways, anyways, but yeah, what was I getting at? What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought.
God.
It's cool, man. We're about 42 minutes in, though.
Yeah, which means I think the reason why I forgot is because I'm wanting to smoke right now.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
It's been a while. Our return back should be a relatively longer episode,
Yeah,
So,
I don't see why not.
yeah.
But
Anyways.
making reference to the people we follow, you can actually go on our channel and see some of the people that we follow. Harley Morenstein is on there.
yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Love his vlogs, love
Yeah.
his comedy. Joe Rogan. I pretty much, any guest he has on his podcast is really great.
Yeah.
I enjoy what he puts out there.
Yeah,
I
I enjoy the format of their show too. It's very
Yeah.
educational, specific to the guest.
Yeah, and then I listen to a lot of like music ones too. Like I listen to NPR's Tiny Desk concerts. Those are really
that's
good.
what we were looking at today, this morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
good. That
then
was good.
I also listen to Colors Berlin. I don't know what
I don't know what that is.
it's a music channel, and they'll get artists that are up and coming.
Mhm.
I guess, and then they'll do a music video essentially, and it's the artist singing on a mic or whatever, and their band's there or whatever, and it's just them playing in a colored set, playing a song, and it's really good. A lot of the songs that they have on there are really good, and I follow it pretty closely.
Very nice. Do you
But-
know what we have? What kind of weed we're smoking?
No, I don't.
Not this time around.
Mm-mm.
I think last time we had
It's pretty seed heavy though.
was blue cookies.
Yes, blue cookies
Blue
was what I had
cookies.
last. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Um,
good.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go smoke, so we'll be right back in a few seconds for you, but it'll probably be maybe about a half hour for us.
See you soon. We love you.
Bye bye.
Shit. I feel good.
I feel real good.
Yeah.
I just ate a spoonful of peanut butter.
I don't think that's a wise decision.
No, I don't think so either.
Before getting back on mic.
Yeah, with nothing to drink, so I could feel it in my
Oh
throat.
no.
Oh man.
Oh man. So, what were we gonna talk about again? Oh,
It's a big question.
that's right. I was gonna. Oh wait, hold on. You gotta let Reg out.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah. Sorry, the dog got to go outside. Really quick.
I got you, Rage.
What the fuck, Reg?
You gonna go out? You gonna go outside?
You're gonna want to come right back in. All right. Anyways, so what I was gonna talk about was some music. Remember, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to talk about some music. So I had this idea, and I want to start a a playlist, right? And I want it to be songs that, like, um, I'm listening to them and I'm high and I'm like, I got the greatest experience and feeling from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to call them like stoner songs, you know, because I don't think that's the proper title. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so either.
But I do want to start like a playlist like that. And the first song that would be on that playlist would be "Mary Jane" by Rick James.
Mary Jane.
I love her just the same.
I would do it again, but that peanut butter is still in there.
Dude, do you remember that one time we were smoking and then we were listening to Mary Jane?
Oh my gosh.
That was,
Quite the experience.
yeah, we had an experience like.
It was incredible.
So for me, for me, when I was listening to the song, right, we were probably fresh off like 2 bowls or something like that, and
Yeah.
it wasn't that long after we smoked, but we were listening to music, and then Mary Jane comes on, and oh my gosh, like as soon as the song, began, it was uh, like everything just went like dark, right? And and when the song started, like every instrument that came out, kind of just like lit itself up or whatever, and it was like I had this like uh, personal concert for myself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was the craziest feeling. Like it felt like there was people around me, like with the instruments and stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
For me, it was the same but a little bit different. The song had started, and I guess my high hadn't kicked in all the way yet. And Justin started listening to it right from the beginning, and I can see for him he was like really into the song, and he kind of looks over at me. He was like, "Song is so good," and I was like, "Yeah, it's a pretty good song. Yeah, I like it." And about 20 seconds later, my high starts kicking in, and my eyes started lowering, and then it got darker and darker, and then they closed. And when they closed, oh my gosh, like the different walls of light that appeared before me as if on a stage, and for the first time I could hear clearly, like each instrument and each sound that was being created to form the music. It was as if there was 3 different rows of 3 different things going on at the same time, and I was able to see the different colors and different sounds. I was able to visualize the sound and see them as colors in front of me, as if they were performing a show for me. It was incredible.
Yeah, dude. And it was cool because I felt like it was a super heavy experience because, like, me, I'm I play music and stuff, and I make music and stuff, and
Yeah.
uh and so I was appreciating everything of how the song was structured, and everything about that, right?
Yeah.
But because I just wanted to get into writing and stuff, I was listening to the lyrics of that song, and it was just like the truest love song to weed,
To weed.
and it is the most amazing thing that was written, that I've ever heard, or at least That's that's
That
when it,
expresses that same love, right?
yeah, that yeah, and it's like, I don't want to say it's the best song, but currently in my lifetime, I haven't had that experience with another song.
I can second that.
Yeah.
That is the only time
Hmm.
that I have ever experienced a song in that way while
So,
I was high.
and I'm excited because I know that, like, as life goes on, you smoke and you listen to music,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for that second song.
Like, what is it gonna be? I
Yeah.
don't know.
But I want to start a playlist, songs that make you feel good when you're smoking or think about smoking, or it's a, I don't want to call it a stoner playlist, but it's a good song playlist. Okay. But yeah, Mary Jane is that first track. So if you guys want to make the playlist with me, what I want to do is I want to every episode I want to feature one song. Well, not feature, but tell you guys about one song uh, that I want to add to the playlist. And then we could build the playlist together.
Yeah.
And then you guys, through social media, you can reach us and suggest songs. You know what I mean? Because I would love. Because I only know about music through reading about it, or looking into it or whatever. But if I'm not, if I'm the casual, like, oh, I just like music when I hear it person, somebody might have heard something I haven't or something like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'd want to hear that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love music recommendations
Well,
of all kinds, of all kinds.
that's like our styles of music. Like
Mhm.
stuff that's on my phone is different than yours,
Yeah.
and I appreciate everything that you bring to the table because I already like what's on my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when I hear something that's coming from your phone, that it just sounds so different than what I have on my phone, and I enjoy it.
Mhm.
And it's amazing. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, that's definitely something I want to do
Yeah.
for every episode.
So I guess you can leave like songs in the comment section or something like that, and if you have any suggestions for the playlist.
At me, homie, the Sauce 187 on Instagram.
Yay.
I think it's the Sauce 187 on Twitter. I don't remember. Whatever, you'll be able to find me.
Yeah.
Do it through
I think
Instagram.
I don't remember what I am right now. Mondo the man.
We're already at an hour.
Mondo _the_ man on Instagram. And I think Twitter too.
Yeah.
I had it like that on Facebook for a while, and then Facebook came out with that put your real name
Mhm.
notices, and the first two times I denied it, and
Mhm.
then it came around again, and I was like, man, all right, if it's gonna make you stop. And I changed, it's still not my full real name.
Mhm.
It now says Mondo Man with two N's so they can believe it's a real last name.
Mondo man.
So now my Facebook is Mondo Man with two N's.
Mondo man.
It used to be Mondo the Man,
Mhm.
and then they sent that notice out, and I
Mhm.
was like, okay, how could I get rid of this the? And I was like, okay, I'll just leave the T a capital, and then I'll just put no space between Mondo and the, right?
Mhm.
But you could still read that it's a separate word, so
Yeah.
it says Mondo the Man, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they kept sending me the notice, and I was like, all right. And then I ended up dropping the, and that's why it's Mondo Man.
Tight.
I can't even remember why I started sharing that information.
Because I had plugged in my stuff, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what I am right now, and then you start talking about your name, and then you talked about Facebook and notices and shit.
Yeah, but I remember all that. And I
Uh-huh.
remember we were through with that conversation. I just don't remember after that point
Uh-huh.
why I continued to share.
It's cool, man.
Or what it was. Hey, can you pass me that water?
Yeah. Oh man, this is a good one.
I feel so good right now.
It's good to be back. I feel, man, it's kind of funny, because the first two episodes, our tolerance wasn't,
Where it is now?
yeah, at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That was like one bowl times, bro. Oh man. But I feel like we get higher now.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's more of a quality high right now.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
It's some good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a better high right now.
Yeah. It's enough to sort of lose focus on this podcast thing.
Just a little bit.
Oh man.
But that's what I love about this show, guys.
Yeah, that's real.
We're sober in the beginning. We talk about what we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take a break. And we relax. And we
So
get
loud.
to chill.
Yeah.
Just relax.
I wonder, like, cause you know how in like TV and radio, right?
Uh-huh.
If someone goes on air drunk,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure there's been plenty of people like on red carpet and they're high and shit like that, or
Yeah.
whatever, right? But I wonder, like, if how many like news anchors out there or whatever like are like blazing it right before, get some clear eyes and just go, like.
All right, we're here, and this is a lion behind me, and they're gonna feed the lion right now, right behind me. And then he smokes weed, so he doesn't get scared of the lion that's right there on the other side of the cage.
Oh man. No, but okay, that stuff that's usually frowned upon, right?
Yeah.
So we've done a couple episodes already. And it seems like they were well received, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I would assume that they were well received is, I never got any negative feedback.
That's right.
I got a lot of, when's the next one?
Yeah.
And what are you going to talk about? And, questions like that or things like that. And, different people, when anytime you start something new,
Yeah.
people are going to have their input, because they care about you and they love you. And, and then, they'll tell you, maybe you should have this on the show. This is kind of like this other show.
Yeah.
Maybe you can check them out and get some inspiration from them or whatever. But yeah, nothing but good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And people enjoyed it and they were wanting more. So we're back.
Yeah. I feel good to be back.
I'm super high right now.
Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
I don't remember either. Because I didn't know. Let's see. What were we just talking about? Yeah.
Oh, man. We should be more prepared next time. But
for the second half,
yeah,
nah, it's cool, man. We're chill, bro. It's cool.
Oh,
It's
man.
like I think this is the part of getting high that I love the most when you're experiencing your high.
Yeah.
And you have other people around you, and they're enjoying the high too. It's like, and so that's what it is. If you guys went and paused and took a break while we took a break, and then came back and pressed pause, then you're high with us right now. So it's like we're all high right now, man. It's cool, man.
Oh, man. I thought it was going to be difficult to do an episode without a guest. Like I wanted a guest on every show, but
Yeah, I felt the same way, man.
this is fine. This is literally like every day. Like
Yeah. I'm sorry,
we
guys. We've been doing this
fucking
every day.
yeah, dude.
We just haven't been including you guys because I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was like a mental thing.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
felt
mean,
like we needed a guest. And
there was quite a few rough patches.
yeah, we had some issues, but it's all good. We
Yeah.
won't go into that. The good thing is
Yeah.
we're back.
Yeah. We feel great, and
Yeah.
that's, aside from, feeling great because of weed, like in general, like we feel great. We feel great about the future, and it's a lot of exciting stuff.
A little plug for some people that have Netflix. Netflix was not the plug. Sorry. Minimalism, the
Oh.
documentary Minimalism, really good documentary. Really cool thoughts to consider.
Mm-hmm.
It's very introspective. Questions can arise, but a really good documentary. I definitely recommend it.
Tight.
Yeah.
You've been getting into a lot of tiny homes.
Yes,
Tiny homes are hype.
yes. In the next 2 to 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
I will build a tiny house, and I will live in a tiny house.
That's hype,
Yes.
and it's very, very, very appealing. Because I mean, most, or at least, and for a tiny house for like one person is like maybe what 10 or 20,000 more than a full price car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
So it's like that just
Yeah, and then you own it.
yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody out there knows about the tiny house movement, but you can also go. I think it's small living or something like that. If you type in tiny house in Netflix, it'll take you to it. Or you could even just go on YouTube and type in tiny house, tiny homes or whatever, and it's basically a real life house condensed onto a trailer bed, and the average size is a trailer that goes 8.5 feet across
Mm-hmm.
and anywhere from 16 all the way up to 24 feet long, and you build a house on that trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and you build it just as strong as a house. It and you build it to exist in any kind of weather. And because it's on a trailer, you can hook it up and take off. So, let's say like a lot of the millennials that are figuring out how to work remotely
Mm-hmm.
online. Let's say you're tired of living where you're at. Well, you've got to move. You got to take all your stuff, pack it. And if you're moving a long distance, depending on how you're going to move your stuff from point A to point B, you figure all that out. You get it done. You're now in your new place, but now you got to unpack and you set everything up and you go through that whole process. But with a tiny home, you have everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
You have all your stuff is in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You connect your house to a truck. You drive to your new place, and that's it. You're set, and you live in a new place now.
You live anywhere you want.
Yeah,
That's hype.
it's amazing.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, this isn't a home for like people who are like collectors. Am I right?
No.
Like if you collecting a bunch of shoes, if you're collecting a bunch of like baseball caps, what other people?
Well, I think if people go and watch that documentary, The Minimalism, they'll understand a little bit more on why people would want to move into a home like this, or why people would build one to begin with. And I think the idea behind minimalism to downscaling to what you need, of what is necessary for you. The idea that you don't you don't have to buy things just because there's a void.
Mm-hmm.
And is the void in the apartment that you're in, or is the void somewhere inside? Is it emotional?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that's there? Are you just impulse buying just to impulse buy? Like, how many people have a closet full of clothes and some with the tag still attached?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And then they don't even use them, and then they give them away.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Or they throw them away, or they sell them, or they're whatever. But only to create a void in their closet. Now it's not packed anymore, so now I need to buy more stuff to fill it.
That's crazy, man.
And the idea is you know, just it's whatever you need, you know?
We'll go watch the documentary.
Yeah, it's a good documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But I'm excited about the tiny houses, too. I started kind of trying to do a design of a floor plan.
It's alright.
I found that when I started making the floor plan, I was totally in love with that layout, and it's still a good layout. It could work for somebody if they like it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be redesigning what I'd like, and I think whenever you're gonna put something like this together, you need to like figure out what it is you want in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a tiny house definitely is like something that fits you, and should be, you know, the requirements of what's in it has to fit who you are, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm definitely gonna have like a studio area so we can do this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
you know. I definitely like a full-size kitchen, you know, full size appliances, you know, and full-size bathroom and stuff. But yeah, it's a good thing, and I'm totally excited about, you know, being able to, you know, wherever I want to go and plant myself, you know, and be there for however as long as I want, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then being able to get up and move just like that, you know, and you don't have to break anything down or pack anything. Like, Anthony just moved from one apartment to his new
Mm-hmm.
place, and he had to, you know, get all his stuff and move all his stuff to the new place, you know.
Yeah.
Versus,
And it was a smaller place too, huh?
versus being able to connect and go, and once you
Mhm.
get there, that's it. You're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, especially for all the traveling we're gonna be doing.
Yeah, man. It's, dude, I'm 27 years old, and I haven't traveled enough for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I've been out of California twice, maybe. Mexico, and then Nevada for the Vegas, the UFC fight we went to.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it. That was the only time I've been out of California. You know.
Yeah. I've only been out a few times myself.
But
So
I'm excited for the later on in the year. My best friend, he lives in New York,
yeah.
and him and his lady, they're gonna get together for like a wedding type thing, and they asked me to officiate it. Yeah, so they want me to go over there in November, and yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean it's New York, man.
New York.
It's gonna be a nice experience. It's gonna be a fun experience because, you know, I'm going over there because it's an event of love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, the rest of the time it's just gonna be me in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be tight. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, I think this is it, guys.
I thought we were gonna go into like a longer segment because
Yeah.
I think we just laughed too much on this one. We were way too high.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe we should like adjust our timeline. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
maybe.
Just get a little bit more sober before we come in.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't ring true, right? Like then you're not
Well,
high.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I definitely think we performed better before.
Well, before we had the guests too.
Oh, that's real.
So
It wasn't just us driving the conversation.
yeah, because mostly it's like story time.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
We talk about the guest's first time smoking weed, but we've already talked about that. We
Yeah.
talked about our first
First episode.
episode.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just weird.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're gonna close it out. Thank you guys. If you're still here, for holding on, and then we're gonna keep on going. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube and SoundCloud.
Yes.
If you only see a couple episodes on the SoundCloud, don't worry about it.
It's because we haven't bought the membership yet, and they only allow 2 episodes.
Yeah, so just hold on that. I'm gonna get it soon. Don't worry. It could even be bought by the time this goes out. We don't know.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
We might even edit this out. Who knows? You may not even be hearing this.
No, I'm probably gonna keep it all in.
Yeah, I know, but you never know.
Feels good to be back, guys. We will see you next time. Stay high, I guess.
Yeah.
No, don't stay high.
Yeah,
You
no,
smoke-
we talked about that earlier today too. Maybe you shouldn't be high for everything you do.
Yeah.
But
Smoke when you wanna smoke. No, smoke when you need to. No. God.
smoke
Smoke weed every day.